Hello, and welcome to this video. I spent maybe a month or two total working on the first video, and now I need to get a second video out, so I'm just gonna live record this and not really plan it too much. This video is gonna be about my hotbar settings and why I have them all the way they are. I'm sure there are lots of videos that talk about how to clean up your HUD and your hotbars and how to do a collapsible class changer and all that, and I'll probably link to a couple in the description down below. But the reason why I do things the way I do is because I like to keep my fingers close to the 1 to 4 range, maybe 5, even 6 is kind of cutting it. Like if you use a paladin, and I've got so many abilities. But for the most part, I can usually keep it between 4 and 5 at the latest. And the reason why I've got so many stacked on top of each other is because I have a super special gaming mouse. Not the 12-key MMO mouse, but just a regular old, whatever this is. I'll probably put a name on the screen. But with the 3 buttons, I have one set to control, one to shift, one to control I have one set to alt. So one of these hotbars is neutral without any control or shift or anything. Control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Control and shift 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then alt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've got access to, what is this, 25 abilities without really having to move my left hand too much from the movement keys. And then my right hand, just use my thumb to use the buttons to choose which one I'm using, which can make this very, very easy. Obviously, when I'm also trying to get to 6 and remember which button is which after I just changed everything, then that can be a little confusing, but I've gotten used to it. And I like to keep return, teleport, sprint, whichever mount I want to use for whichever class on that hotbar in that same spot. I usually just click on it rather than actually press the hotkey, but it's nice to have it there in case I feel like it. Although I know this is a lot of wasted space for the hotbar, like just having these 25 hotkeys basically unused. I know that I could go to Hud Layout and change the shape of these hotbars so that I could probably get away with two 4x3s maybe, or 3x4s, one of the two, and then with like a 6x2 I can probably cover up this space, maybe up to the 6s, and be fine. I'll probably rearrange it that way eventually, but right now I'm used to keeping it this way. And then the rest of my hotbars are right here. Obviously I've got all my classes, the combat classes on these two, and then the gathering and crafting on this one. And then because there was a few left over, I figured I'd put on repair, desynthesis, chocobo saddlebag, a couple of a little bit more frequently used options, just kind of here so I can use it rather than going through the menu, even though most of these aren't that frequently used. And then I had the clan hunt bills or whatever, just kind of there when I, at the time, was just using 1 or 2 extra hotbars. I didn't have all this, just so I can access it pretty quickly. Again, not the most efficient use of it, but it's what I do. And then some commonly used emotes and my multi-seater mounts, just for convenience sake. And then that's basically it. I didn't really explain it too much, so that was just a brief overview, I guess. If you go to the HUD layout, you can choose which of the hotbars you use, and you might notice that yes, I skipped 4 and went to 5, and I don't remember exactly why. I think because just as I was playing over time, I went from the 2 to eventually 3, and then I used the 4th hotbar here, and then eventually I was like, okay, well now I want to make a 5th hotbar, but I don't want to rearrange the 4th one, so I just used, hotbar 5 and 6 rather than actually rearrange hotbar 4. On my other characters, I actually just do 1 to 5 rather than 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. And then like I was showing earlier, you can change the shape here. I don't want to move it because I don't want it to become out of sync with the others. And it still bugs me that it's not pixel perfect. Like they're not completely aligned right. That I really wish there was like a snap to grid feature. And if there is, I just haven't noticed it or haven't looked it up. There's of course the opacity or transparency setting, which could be kind of fun to mess around with. I like to keep basically everything on my HUD down to like level 60%, so that it doesn't take up very much room as I'm looking around at everything. It is pretty close to the default. Like this is the default, and you can see I just kind of move everything down to the corner and minimize it. I try to get the gill coin symbol about the same size and position as these little red buttons, which means, is this at 60 or yeah, it's at 60. Okay. And then this is also at 60. I like the pet hotbar over here on the side just cause. And then I have the item help and action help right here, because when you open up the bag and then have the item help and action help, it's not in the way. And then I also have it set to where the action help is and item help just stay right there, so that I know where I'm looking rather than it moving around with my mouse. In case you don't know how to do that, I believe that's character configuration, or no, item settings, right? Is it here? I should have looked this up before I did it. UI settings? Yes, so under UI settings, help, and then display action help fixed or fixed reverse. If you do that, then it'll be to the other side of your mouse, so that it's never in the way of your mouse, which can be useful. I should probably set it to that actually, because occasionally when I'm like on the market board or something, then it'll be in the way here, but it should be fine. Or the default is next to cursor, which makes sense because you want to see it near where your mouse is so that you know what it is you have your mouse over. But then it kind of gets in the way of other moves. Like if I'm looking at this move here, then that's blocking off like 20 of my abilities almost, 16 I think, which obviously I should know where they are, and I'm probably not going to be clicking on them in the heat of battle or whatever, but you know, just preference and all that. And then what else did I change? I know you can do the expanded inventory so that you see all 4 bags at once, but I don't mind kind of flipping through if I need to. It's usually pretty organized because I sort everything constantly. What else can I talk about? I have the duty list right here. Sometimes it kind of clips off the side of the screen right here, or like the item help might get in the way sometimes, but it's not really much of an issue. Server info and minimap up in the top right. I do like the minimap actually not at 60%, obviously here at 110, just because I like to have a decently sized minimap that I can look at. And speaking of regular maps, which is not what I was talking about, here, let me see, just like a more regular size. I like to have this zoomed out and about this size. I specifically did this when I was in the Southern Front, the Bosnian Southern Front, level 80 content, so that I can have the entire map as zoomed out as I can, and then at the right size, so that when I'm there I can just see it all together. But then obviously depending on where you are, then that's gonna change how big you want the map. I used to have it like just all the way over the entire screen, just for fun really. What else? I think that's it. And then I have my chat just kind of filling up this empty corner, because if you could like change the shape or size of the chat, like I know you can move this around, but Oh man, now I gotta redo that. But yeah, if you could customize this more, I think I might want to keep these hotbars symmetrical with the middle hotbar or something. And again, the more I think about it, the more I do kind of want to change this to put it in the middle. Oh yeah, and then my health and mana and my experience bar here. I don't really need the experience bar on the level 80 characters, so I could probably remove that or something. My plan is to get all of these to level 80. Classes and jobs. I do have all of them up to 60 at least. Blue Mage being the lowest at 61, and everything else is like 64 and higher. Paladin and White Mage are my two 80s. And then all of my Disciples of Hand and Land are level 80, which I'm quite proud of. But once they all do get to 80, assuming it's before Endwalker, I'll probably just remove the experience bar. Because the experience bar, oh yeah, also the health parameters, or what do they call it? Parameter bar. That one is also not 60 because I want it to stay relatively the same size as the other bars. And like the experience bar, it goes like, it's such a huge difference from like 80 to 60. So like I can't tell if I want it wider than the hotbars or smaller. Realistically, based on size, I could probably put it on top of the parameter bar. But then I also like having all of my job specific gauges, like right here, simple version, switch job gauge to simple mode, just so that it's, you know, decluttered, minimalist look. You can kind of see all of the job gauges are usually relatively small, kind of clipping. I wish they were a little more uniform. And it always bugs me. The Bard is like, it's such a tall gauge because it eventually gets the second bar underneath it. But then it's just floating so far above, and I don't want to scoot it down and then eventually unlock the second part and then have to scoot it back up. So that's ridiculous. But anyways, that's probably more than enough for what this video was supposed to be. Just wanted to kind of, you know, record it all in one, get it out of the way, upload it relatively soon, probably like a day after I record it, and then just have that be the second video. I still want to work on what's the difference between Paladin and Warrior. I kind of want to get Warrior up to level 80 before I do it, so that I have more experience talking about it. Originally, I was just going to talk about up to level 60 because when I started the idea, my Warrior was only level 60, or like 64 or something. But now that I've actually leveled it up to 70, I've got a better grasp on what Warrior is. I kind of want to just wait till I get to level 80 or something. But if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'd love to chat about this channel and any other videos that I may or may not make. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.